Hello everyone, Flying Dutchie here and welcome back to our tutorial for complete beginners as Sweden. In this episode we are going to talk about the army and the navy, and we are going to take a look at both aspects, how you can get more, how you can make them better. And in the next episode we are going to do a diplomatic play, so then we will actually go to war and then I will explain everything what you can do over there. So let's continue, and before we go, make sure to like and subscribe and tell what you think about Victoria 3 in the reactions tab. Giving all these things helps these videos to become easier to find for other people, so thank you in advance. Let's go to the army, and we have a screen over here, the military screen or F5 that we I think didn't look at yet. And over here we have the army, mobilization and navy tab. Now, when you go to the army tab, you can see all armies in your game. Armies you can create as many armies as you want. You can create 10 armies of 1 battalion or 1 army of 10. At the moment we have 30 battalions, which is pretty decent at the start of the game as Sweden. It's also costing us money. What you can do here is zoom to the location of the army. There it is. That is our army. When you see this, you can see that we have 18 attack and 22 defense. This is also very low, I think, because we have no organization. That is because we have no commander at the moment. He died. So we will take a look at that soon, what all of that is. What you can do in the screen is not much, in my opinion. You can disband an army, but if you disband your army over here, the barracks will be gone from your empire. And you need to recreate those barracks if you want to make a new army. That also means that the 30,000 people that are working as an army are going to be fired, so you don't want to do this. Maybe you should not even look at this screen at all, because you can see all these things over here, the mobilization, the navy stuff, and the army stuff, recruit general, do a naval invasion, station in a different HQ to defend maybe over there. You can also upgrade all units. You can do this in another screen, which I use most of the time. I just click on my army over here. Because over here we can do all the things as well. We can plan a naval invasion over here with this army. We can transfer to another army. Well, we have only 1 army at the moment. We can upgrade our stuff over here. We can click the mobilization things more in detail. So I like to use this screen. And let's take a look at our current army. We have 20 infantry units. We have 3 artillery units, and of different types at the moment. We have 1 mobile artillery and 2 cannon artillery. And we have 7 cavalry. We have 1 cuirassier, 2 dragoons and 4 hussars. Now, what is all of this? Every unit in the game has its own upkeep and its own stats. At the moment we are using line infantry. Every line infantry we use costs 1 small arms. It gives us 20 offense and 25 defense. Infantry is the best unit to defend. What I sometimes do when I have a big country, I will make defending armies and attacking armies. But we are Sweden, we are pretty small, so we are not going to do this. You can click on this thing here, the line infantry, and here you can see all the infantry type that will be available in the game. Some countries start with irregulars, and irregulars don't cost anything to upkeep, I guess. Yeah, but these only give 10 offense and 10 defense, and they give a bit more morale loss. So having line infantry is good. We want to go to skirmish infantry. But what do we need for it? Well, we are going to use 2 small arms input, so we're going to double it. So we need not 20 but 40 for these 20 units. And we need ammunition. Now we don't have ammunition yet, but it could be a good thing to get that. And then we get 25 and 35 as offense and defense. So that is a big boost, right? That can make you win battles and then you can win the war. Now what we also have here is our artillery. We have a cannon artillery and mobile artillery at the moment. The cannons use 1 artillery input. The mobile artillery use 2 artillery input. But you can see the offense is a 30 from these, And this 25, so it's a little bit better, but there's not a big difference in my opinion. And the defense is the same, it's only 15. I could click this button and upgrade all my artillery to the next possible thing, to the mobile artillery. So we're going to upgrade our 2 cannons to mobile artillery, and I think I will. Oh. So let's click this button, and then over time they will be upgraded. We also have some horses. Horses are good for battle occupation, because they are faster, I guess. And that means that you can conquer states quicker if you have more of these in your army. And what kind of types do we have? We have plenty of them. We have the hussars, which are not good. They have 15 and 10. Dragoons, 20 and 25, but they also use small arms. 2 of them per. You are also good. 25 offense, 20 defense. So the dragoons are better for defense. And these guys are better for offense. The rest is the same. And we have lancers, who are having even more offense. 30 offense for a lancer. So that is actually pretty good. But we get a little bit morale loss. But we also need to use more iron, grain and small arms. So we get a bit more iron input per lancer. Also when they are standing still. Because you don't even mobilize them. They are just waiting to be going on the field. So yeah, we could upgrade all our cavalry. And I will do this. It's gonna cost us a little bit more money, because remember, the goods for the military buildings we are going to pay for. So soon we are gonna see iron in this list, because we are upgrading our cavalry to lancers. And they need 2 iron inputs per. So we are gonna use a bit of iron to pay for their upkeep. Okay, we have upgraded our army, that will take some time. Now, let's take a look at this screen here. So at the moment we have 30 battalions, but we have 0 command limit, because our general died. So let's get a new commander by clicking this button. And we see that we have 3 options. There are always 3 options. They will not cycle, I think. Or it takes a really long time. So you have to pick one of these, and then a new one will appear the next time. You can see their portrait, you can see which group they support. We have 2 to the petite bourgeoisie and 1 to the armed forces. And then you can see their traits. And some of these traits are very important. Because you only need to look at the commander traits. Because this one is not a ruler, he is not an interest group leader. He's not an agitator. So we only look at the commander things. And the orders that they can do. So for example, Anton Reuterskild is tactful, which gives him 5 more defense, which is pretty good. But he also has a... you do less morale damage, so he is just... yeah, he's a bit more careful, and therefore he has the 100% careful maneuver chance. This sometimes happens in the battle, when there is a fight, which we will do in the next episode, hopefully. And this gives us less casualties, and we lose less morale. So that is pretty good, being careful, apparently. So that is a good trait, and we have open terrain commander. When we are having an offense in flat terrain, we get 25% more offense. That is pretty good. The problem in this game is, you don't know all the time which terrain you're going to attack into. I'm planning on attacking something over here. And when we take a look at Zulu, well, we can see mountains, but when you hover over this, you don't see any information. And there is no map mode, because here are some map modes that can tell you what the terrain is over here. I don't see anywhere where I can see which terrain you're gonna fight in. If I want to attack Denmark, we have this terrain. What is this? Hills? Or what is this? I don't know. So that is a downside, that we don't know which terrain we are going to fight into. But this is a pretty good commander. Let's take a look at Henrik over here. He's part of the petite bourgeoisie. It's also something what you need to keep in mind. When you recruit someone, you get more interest group political strength. So if you want the armed forces to be a bit more stronger, which I'm fine with, then you can give them more political strength. And when you upgrade this to level 2, 3, 4 and 5, you will get even more group political Political strength, so you need to keep that in mind. So yeah, this is a good one. Then we have the Petit Bourgeoisie guy. He is reckless. He has a less recovery rate as a commander. That is not good. And we have woodland combat, so more defense in forested terrain. So you can be a little bit more of a... This is a navy thing. He can be good at defending in woodlands, but he's not having the normal good traits over here. Also, he has reckless advance, which gives more offense, but you also have more blunder chance and aggressive maneuver chance as well. Then you take more casualties. But you do more morale damage, so... I don't like this guy. And then we have Daniel Kronenberg over here. He's an artillery commander, so all our artillery is getting 5% more offense, which is the only thing they need, offense. But we also get more mud chance, that is a battle condition. And we have the aggressive maneuver chance here again. But he can do heavy barrage when we go to war, and that gives all of this. More kill rate, more morale damage, more devastation. Can be really good. But I like the Armed Forces guy more, so I'm gonna take this one. Hopefully we can fight in the open terrain in Denmark. Denmark is pretty flat, right? And now you can see that we have 30 out of 30. Over time, that means that the organization, you can see every day we get plus 0.25, will go back to 100. So only try to get the commanders and make sure that your organization is going to 100 or is very close to 100, because at the moment we get minus 25% offense, minus 10% defense. We don't even get any morale recovery, I think. And the recovery rate of the troops themselves is minus 50% at the moment, so make sure that you have your organization to 100. Here you can see your manpower. One unit is 1,000, so 30 units is 30,000 manpower. And they are all alive at the moment. They are not getting killed. So this bar is full. We also have this thing here, morale. What is this? Yeah, we just have 100 of the supplies. So that is still going fine. This is what we pay for this army at the moment. This will change over time because we have changed the cavalry. You can see the average offense of this whole army. 18.1, 22.9 average defense. And here you can see attrition. We don't have any attrition in our home quarters at the moment. So that is all the things you can see here. When you scroll down, you can even see where all the units are coming from. This 1,000 regiment is coming from the barracks in Jutland. We have 1,000 army in this island. That is over here. And these are from Götaland, and etc, etc. The same you can do for your artillery and all your cavalry. These 3 units will become hussars soon. That should change our stats a little bit higher, including the organization penalty. I think that is in this number. Oh, I cannot check this. So we'll take a look at that when we play the game again. There are some mobilization things. At the moment, we have basic supplies. These will apply when we are going to mobilize. At the moment, we are not mobilized because we are not in a diplomatic play or we are not at war. So we cannot mobilize this army. But when we are going to mobilize, they are going to get the basic supplies. It's going to cost you 0.5 grain per battalion extra. It's going to cost you 25% more small arms artillery per unit. We don't have ammunition, oil, radios or tanks yet. But when you have basic supplies, you're going to get 25%, and for us it's only small arms and artillery, and the grain extra. Now later on, when we have groceries, we could click extra supplies. We will get 10% more offense and defense, but we need to have groceries, and we're going to get another 25% increase in small arms and artillery, so we will have 50% more of small arms and artillery, and we need to make sure that we can make those. Now, and we have more things over here. Here we need, what do we need for this one? Military statistics. Here we just need to get groceries. So we could get extra supplies. Supplements, you can get morale recovery, which makes them better to attack again, so that's very important. Transportation, we can do forced march, we can make our troops go and move quicker. But it loses their morale. Loss is higher, so I don't really like to use that one. Just be where you need to be at the beginning of the war. Reconnaissance, later on in the game, takes a very long time before we can get those things. Combustion engines. Militarized industry, takes a long time. We can get machine guns later in the game when we have those technologies. And we have medical support for 20% recovery rate, but we need to use more fabric and more liquor. And we also need to use fabric for our construction at the moment, so it's your choice. You can get big upgrades. Make sure that you select them in time. Because when you change something, it takes time for your army to get used to it. And they get a penalty to, I think, organization? I actually forgot, so. You can see all the buildings, once again, where they are coming from. The 1 unit from our island, Jutland. And we have 14 out of our capital, Svealand. And you can see all your modifiers. Why do we have 15%? Because we have low organization. Why do we have plus 10 from Sweden? Because our armed forces are happy. They give plus 10%. So you can see everything over here for your army, even your navy stuff over here. This will change because we are having low morale, etc. And that is all you can do over here in this screen. So yeah, you can take a look at the next things you can pick. For example, the shrapnel artillery giving 45 offense is really good. But we need ammunition for it and more artillery. We now have 1 artillery, and then we're going to use 3 artillery per unit and 3 ammunition. But that is very good to get. I think my economy right now cannot really sustain this, so we are not going to make a way towards shrapnel artillery yet, but it will happen later in the game. And your cavalry will become obsolete, or they will become light tanks later in the game. That's going to take a very long time. Also make sure that you don't have more than 50% artillery and cavalry compared to your infantry. That also gives you a penalty to organization. I think it was organization, I'm not sure, but I think that is organization. So if I have 20 infantry and 21 artillery, you get a small penalty to organization. So even your attacking armies need 50% infantry. The ideal attacking army is having 50% artillery, or a little bit of cavalry and artillery with infantry. You can also do 50-40-10, for example. Okay, that was the army. Let's go and maybe you should unpause the game so that we can see the changes coming. This number is going up, as you can see. And this number should change as well next week, because we are going to upgrade our cavalry. They are already upgraded, so we are going to spend some money to buy iron for them. And there it is. 0.22, it's not that much. And I think all my units are now upgraded. No, 1 is still going. So yeah, it's a little bit more expensive, but their stats should increase very soon. I think they are already getting a little bit better, especially when our organization goes back to 100. But there's another button that I did not talk about. That are these buttons. We can make more line infantry. I can use one on construction, and after my steel mill, build more barracks. I can do this. But I'm not going to do this, because we cannot afford it. But here you can make more troops for your army. You don't have to do it anywhere else. The same counts for our artillery and our cavalry. We have an event, by the way, because of our law change that we are trying to do, and we had a stall, unfortunately. The prominent members of the armed forces outspoken, etc., and we can get 15% enacting chance, or minus 10%, or we will do a setback. We'll pause the game again, because we get all kinds of things. We are going to do the setback. You can have 3 setbacks before the law gets not activated. That is just a buffer for the player to make sure that you have more chances. And we're going to click this button because we don't want the minus 10 or minus 15% enactment chance. Because then we will never get it. So we do this one. We get 1 setback and we still have 22% chance to succeed. So yeah, there is a button over here. Conscriptions. We can recruit conscripts, which are battalions that are Maintained from the civilian population, and they are activated during diplomatic plays or wars. We can build 10 conscripts. That is 25% or 33%. I'm not sure what is causing this limit. Maybe some laws that we have. Maybe we have professional army, and is that the thing? Professional army. Conscription rate. 10 battalions can be mobilized, but why? I don't know. But yeah, we can do this. So click on the army again. That means that these armies are not costing anything until you're going to war, and that is pretty handy. The downside is that this will take a while before they are trained, because they will only be activated when we are going to war. So, but I would recommend building these, because that is not a standing army, and you don't have to pay for them when we are not at war. These ones we have to pay for all the time. And I think their stats are exactly the same, so when you can, build those conscripts, or maybe build some artillery to get your offense higher. Or lancers, of course, to get more battle occupation and also good offense. But we're not going to do this for now, and I will tell you very soon why, because I think now we talked about everything. Yeah. You can see it's we need to pay way more small arms again, because we are upgrading our units. But you can also see that our offense and defense is getting higher, thanks to the upgrades and our organization. Because why do I not make more? Well, I am planning on invading Africa. And to invade Africa, you need to do a naval invasion. We want our colonies. You can colonize these states where there is no color. For example, here. You see a tension modifier. Benin is a country. Igbo is not a country. Well, it is a country, but it is not recognized, I think. Doesn't tell you over here, but you can just go here and colonize them without going to war. You need to declare on the nations that are colored in the standard country screen. So all of this is colonizable, and this as well. You can see that Great Britain is colonizing over here, because that was also colonizable, and here as well. And these are countries you can attack, and I'm always planning to attack this part, because there is some gold over there. And gold is very handy. Gives you a lot of money. So we first need to attack Zulu. Or Gaza. If I want to attack Zulu, we can click on it. We can see how much armies they have. They have 18 standing armies and 5 battalions they can raise when they go to war. Can we see how good they are? Somewhere. I think we can. Barracks. Okay, here. They have 2 hussars with 15 and 10. And they have 16 irregulars with 10 and 10. So our army is way better. So what we can do is start a play on Zulu next episode. And then we're going to use our fleet, which we're going to take a look at now. And then we will use our army and our fleet together to do a naval invasion. But there is one thing you need to take into account. When we do a naval invasion with an army of 30 and a navy of 18, we are going to get a penalty. Ideally, we have a 30 navy and a 30 army. Then we have no penalty. So it needs to be 1-on-1. So let's take a look at our navy right now. And the screen is very similar. I think, once again, when you have 9 light and 9 capital ships, you are at the limit of your organization. I think when you have more capital ships than light ships, you lose your organization. You get a penalty, just like the army did. Now, we already have a commander, Karl Nordenskiöld. He is part of the rural folk, and he's an experienced naval commander, so he is very good. He has 20 offense and 20% defense. So that is one we're going to keep. And I think we need to build our navy up to 30 to have a very good naval invasion. I still think we could do it right now with the penalty, but let's not take any chances. So let's take a look at the fleets over here. So at the moment we have frigates. Monitors are a bit further away. They are of course way better, but they also cost ammunition and artillery and ironclads. Ironclads we don't even make. We now have the manowars, which cost 3 manowars input. When we go to ironclads later on, we need to use artillery, ammunition and ironclads. So at the moment we only use manowars. When you go to better ships, you're gonna use other things than manowars. So what are making these manowars? At the moment, we are using 3 manowars per capital ship, so that is 27. And we use 1 per light ship. So we make 36, we need 36 manowars to have this navy going. Can we go to our building? Not over here, these are the naval bases. We need to go to the production building. No, we have to go to the building screen, urban. And then we have our military shipyard. You can click on this and open it, it's in Scania. And there we go. We need 36 and we are making 36. Actually we need 37 and we are making 36. There is still a little bit of room. 400 people more can work in this shipyard, but they don't want to because the building is not making enough money. The workforce over here, the laborers are struggling, the machinists are struggling, even the shopkeepers are struggling. This building is not profitable because 1 level of wooden ships can make 35 with the throughput bonus of the state is around 38, 39. That's correct. We are going towards 39 or something like that. So I can freely make some boats that will make this building more profitable. Also, we have very high input goods which we need to work on. But we can make this price higher, make the people that work here a little bit richer. And the price that we have to pay for these manowars will of course be a little bit higher. That's true. At the moment, military goods for military buildings, we are spending 2.67 on the manowars. I think we're not going to pay that much more. So what I will do is go to the army, navy, and maybe I will just queue up some more light ships. I think we're going to queue up 12 more light ships. And then we go to 30. Because they are very cheap. And I am going to do this in Scania, because in Scania is where my military shipyard is. So the local price of the manowars is cheaper in Scania. Remember, we have to pay for it. So I am going to build 12 more here. And then over time, it takes a long time, the 18 number will go to 30. And then when we do a naval invasion, we have no more penalty. So that is what I want to try to achieve with this. We will go over our command limit, because we go to 30 over time. We can hire another admiral, but we can also right-click on this guy and promote it. It gives the interest group more political strength. I don't like the rural folk, so I don't think I'm going to do this one. You could take a look at another admiral. And they also have their own trades. You can use your fleet in different ways. I think we'll talk about that later when we are actually going to war. Let's take a look at their trades. You have more command limit, but carriers, we don't have any carriers. No, you have syphilis, that doesn't do anything, but you're just gonna die earlier. You have more command limit, but you're also a naval commander. So you have 10% more offense and defense, and you have more orders you can do. You have no bonus as a commander, and here... an admiral, you need to look at admiral, actually. No, it's also commander. But this one is pretty good. I'm gonna get Franz Rappe. We will make the landowners a little bit stronger, which is not ideal. But now we have plenty of room for our light ships to get in, so... I think we are going to keep it like this. You cannot make the conscripts for your navy. You can only do that for your army. Let's unpause the game. Let's play a bit more. And then next episode we will hopefully start our war. I will wait for my navy to be ready. And you can see at the moment what is happening. Our money is negative. We are using so much money right now on all kinds of things, including our own construction, that whatever we do, we cannot get a positive income. So we will accumulate a little bit more interest. Let's go to maybe 2,000. Let's make our... let's go to the construction. Let's make the steel mill, and then we'll have to stop for a bit, I think. We have 3 more events. Language in the classroom. Oh yeah, we have some Ashkenazi pops in Sweden. We can get more radicals, but we can also assimilate them quicker, or we get less assimilation, and we get less radicals from discrimination. I like to do this one, but the petite bourgeoisie and the church will become angry. The church doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter, actually. When the church is going to 2 and the petite bourgeoisie to 11, we keep the bonus, because we need at least 8. And the church will not lose anything. So I'm gonna do this one, and then we get a little bit less radicals. We have a foreign manifesto. A movement to enact private schools will get more political movement for 5 years. We already have some support here. There's no radicalism at the moment, though. Or we do this one and we get less, but we get more movement radicalism. And the industrialists are not gonna like this. No, we will do this one. Whichever way forward. So now it's 22 to support, which is pretty good, actually. Because we want private schools, remember. It's going to give our intelligentsia more political power. Whichever way forward. It's about the Swedish-Prussian Fellowship. They will leave the fellowship. No, I want to keep them in, because they get a nice +4 bonus. So, I don't want them to leave, otherwise they would go to 2. Now they are at 6. And 6 gives me more influence, which is pretty handy. Now, since we are losing so much money, we're going to the budget screen. We could just raise taxes, but we will get so much more radicals. I can also just lower some of our government wages. It makes the intelligentsia and the petite bourgeoisie a little bit more angry. But I think that's fine. Let's lower the government wages a little bit. And what about the military wages? We get -1 armed forces approval. Yeah, I think we can do this. We are still not making that much money this way. I don't want to do this. This is going to give us so much radicals, I think. So, there we go. Our steel mill is going to be built in 9 weeks. And then we can change our tools towards steel tools. And we need the steel for our motors, for the railways later on. So that is going our way. What is our private investment pool doing? Okay. They want to build a livestock ranch in western Norway. They are waiting for funds to be available. Okay. But then this should go next week, because we are getting towards the 185,000. There we go. Is it now in the pool? Yeah, so it's just accumulating this in the pool towards what it needs, and then it will start going towards the project. Okay, nice. So we are still using our investment pool completely with the current amount of construction sectors that we have. Oh, that is pretty good. I don't like that our interest is going up so quickly. It is horrible. And there we go. We had another tick for the dedicated police force. We now had a 32%. We get 10% extra. That is going our way. We are still improving with these countries. And yeah, the question is, do we keep building our naval bases, or do we just stop our own construction sector and give everything to the private construction sector for a while? Because the interest on this is pretty big. Because we are not a major power. Oh, well, we are. We are not a great power. We are spending more to our interest. This number over here. Okay, the steel mill is built, so let's take a look at our steel mill. No one is going to get hired here because no one needs steel, so no one wants to work here. But we can change this. Because once again, what can we do? We can go to steel tools with all our tooling workshops. It's saying that we get an input shortage, but that is because no one is working here yet. So this, again, this whole message is not going to be in play soon. We are going to make 36 more tools this way. And we are going to use less iron, which is pretty helpful because the iron is used to make steel. We are going to get more engineers and less laborers. Engineers are better to have because they have a higher standard of living, which increases our standard of living in general. So yes, we're going to click this. Now let's take a look what is going to happen to all these things over here. Where did we build the steel mill? Where's the steel mill? Oh, there it is. In Svealand. So the tooling workshop in Svealand will have the easiest time to be very profitable. Not right now, because when we unpass, no one is working at the steel mill. And because no one is working at the steel mill, we have an import shortage. We are not making any of these things, I think. No, it is a penalty that accumulates over time. We are getting a penalty of 4, and I think every day or every couple of days the penalty is going up. Yeah, and this is the number of tools we make, and that number is going down, I think, then. Or is it not telling us? Yeah, 71. Okay, every week it takes the percentage into account. It's also new for me, actually. Let's go to speed 4. Yeah. So you don't immediately lose all your stuff. It goes over time when you don't have any steel. So apparently this tooling workshop can still make tools while there is no steel. So that is very interesting. But that's just how the game works. It's going progressively. But look at this. People are getting hired. This building is super productive. Because all my buildings need steel and no one is working here. So the people that are going to work here should become very profitable. And slowly we are making some steel. In the Swedish market we need 60. We are only making 3 because this factory needs to get built up. We can make 65 with the blister steel process, the first process of this building, the production method. And yes, our iron is still very expensive and our coal as well. We are going to change this. But you can change this in 2 ways. You can make more or you get better production methods. And we are going to get better production methods very soon. Because the atmospheric engine gives us better pumps for the mines. So I will wait for that. Here we go. We make 23 more steel. I think when we are at 30 we don't get a input shortage anymore. Not sure about it. Let's say wait for the next week. Yeah, there we go. So we have 35 out of 60 now, and we have no more input shortage. It's just very expensive steel. Which means that my tooling workshop in Svealand should no longer get this penalty. The penalty is going to disappear over time as well. So the penalty goes up gradually, and the penalty goes away gradually. So over time you will make more tools, and the tools are going to be very cheap, and our steel as well. Because we are having our steel mill in this state, that does mean that the other 2 tooling workshops will have 19% penalty and not 5%. Because we have built the steel in our capital. If I go to my tooling workshop in Götaland, you can see that the steel is 27% more expensive over here. Yeah, we do have that shortage, but that is going to be gone very soon. And there we go, guys. We have our first steel mill. And here you can see again that people don't want to work here because the building is no longer profitable. The import goods are too much compared to what we make. So we want to make another coal mine. or we change the production method of the coal mine. How much coal do we need? We need 45 in our whole market, and we only make 27. We also have pop consumption, as you know. These people need to heat their houses. So maybe we can make another coal mine. You can do that here as well. Production land, resources. Coal mine. We have only one state where we can do this. Let's queue that in. Because at the moment we can only make 25. When we have the atmospheric engine pump, however, we can make 40. So I'm going to cancel it, because we are going to just upgrade this when we have our technology. Now, there was a lot of talking, a little bit of playing. We are building our naval bases. So over time, yeah, there we go. We have 19 ships and not 18 anymore. So next episode, when we have a decent amount, maybe 24, 25, I will already do the attack. And then we'll do a diplomatic play. That's going to happen in the next video. So thanks so much for watching once again. Make sure to like, give your reaction about the game. If you have any questions, just ask them, because I will read every comment. And I can give answers to most of the things as well. And otherwise someone else can maybe take a look at the comment section and answer it for you. It's also fine. And then I see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.